This 12-year-old boy single-handedly took down dozens of adult attackers without getting hurt. Yet after the assault ended, he deliberately wounded himself to make it look like the assassins had injured him. The truth was, James, the 13th prince of the empire, had earned the emperor's trust and favor. His older brother, the crown prince, felt threatened enough to send assassins after him. Before the attack, the emperor had appointed James as minister of justice. His first order of business was asking his deputy how much he'd taken in bribes. The deputy broke into a cold sweat. He couldn't believe a 12-year-old kid would come right out and ask that. But James promised he wouldn't hold it against him. Only then did the deputy come clean. He explained he never touched cases that could lead to retaliation, only took money on ambiguous ones, pulling in a few hundred gold coins a year. His subordinates probably made 10 times that. James immediately wrote him a check for 10 times what he'd admitted to, on one condition: no more bribes during his tenure. He couldn't let the emperor down. The deputy was so moved by James's integrity that he refused the check and promised to stay clean, asking only to serve James faithfully. James glanced at his stats panel. His attributes had indeed gone up slightly. Meanwhile, the emperor had ordered the arrest of a group plotting rebellion. He felt helpless about the situation. After 35 years as crown prince, his son simply couldn't wait any longer. Though there was no concrete evidence linking the crown prince to the plot, the emperor wouldn't take action against him for now. The next day, when James arrived at his office, he found all the guards lying on the ground. Someone had broken in while he was away. The guards told him the assassins were still inside. James drew his magic sword and went in alone. He severed one attacker's limbs and knocked him out to prevent suicide. Within moments, he'd taken down every single enemy, but then James deliberately cut himself to fake being wounded by the intruders. Under imperial law, anyone who harmed a prince faced execution. By killing everyone, James eliminated any loose ends for the crown prince. He despised his older brother, but he had to protect the emperor's reputation. The emperor cared deeply about his legacy after all. Emperors remembered as wise rulers in history often end up tarnishing their reputations in their final years. Though the empire had reached its golden age under his rule, and history books would surely record him as an enlightened monarch, if the crown prince's rebellion succeeded, the emperor would be marked as a foolish old man who couldn't even control his own son. The emperor was delighted. He brought James to the treasury and told him to choose whatever treasure he liked. James had his magic sword seek out the most valuable item. Sure enough, just as the emperor had anticipated, James selected the very treasure he'd intended to give him all along.